This is a Spartan sewing machine. It's very similar to the Singer 99. And what we're going to do, we want to do is clean down here in the bobbin area. And over time, you get a lot of string, dust, fluff in there. So periodically you want to clean this out. So what I usually do when I clean this out, I remove some of these parts up here to give me some working space. First the needle, and what I like to do is get myself a little tray, put everything in a tray so I don't lose the pieces. I remove the slide plate here to get access to this area here where the bobbin lies. Now I want to remove the throat plate. And to do that, what I do, I use some tools here. Here's a small ratchet that I use to break the screw. Then I use sometimes a flathead screw to break it sometimes, it's a flathead screwdriver. But also use the small one. So once I get it broken, I can use this and twist this to remove the screws. So I've already broken and loosened them. So I take these screws, I put them in a little bin here. I lift this up, remove it, and I put like with likes in the little slot. So now I have access to this area here. These are the feed dogs right here. And this is the latch plate. I want to remove this latch plate next. Okay. Before I do that, another tool that I have here, just in case I need it, this is a magnet. In the event I should drop this little screw here down inside, and if I can't reach it, I have a real strong magnet. I can reach down, grab it, and pull it out. And that's something you ought to consider purchasing, because if you lose these little screws, these screws are proprietary to Singer. You cannot go down to the local hardware and purchase this screw. You may have to find another machine that's compatible or Spartan, and then use that as parts. So that's why I have this magnet here in case I need it. So I've already broken it down, and so I remove this screw. So I'm kind of blocking your view a little bit, sorry. I move this screw, and again I put it in a tray so I don't lose it. And this is the latch plate. The latch plate, notice, here's where the screw came out of, and there's a pin right here. So I want to lift that up a little bit and slide it forward, right under the feed dogs. And it should come out. I said it should. Let's try to, there it goes. There it is, it comes right out. Okay, so there it is. Now we have access. Now we want to remove, we've already removed the bobbin, which is easy to do. Now we want to move this portion here. This is called the position bracket, this here, and this moves left and right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull it toward me with my thumb, my finger here, excuse me. You see it move there, push it back in position, move it back. You see that action, okay? So what I do is pull it toward me. Now we're going to remove this here. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to move it toward the position bracket just a little bit and then up. And I continue to move this back, and I wiggle this a little bit, and it should come right up, just straight up. What I advise at this point is put it back in place, get a feel for it, how it sits, and close this bracket back up. Do that a couple times so that you feel comfortable. Back, a little between, kind of wiggle it out. There, okay? Now you have access. This is as far as I'm going to take it. You can remove this portion here. This is the hook ring portion. But if you do that, it's going to cause some timing problems. Unless you're absolutely comfortable with timing issues, I would just leave it like that. So what we're going to do, we're going to start the cleaning process. I'm going to first wipe this down with a rag to see how dirty it is. Then I'm going to take some 99% alcohol, clean it up, and once you get everything cleaned, you can see it's dirty. Again, once we get it all clean, then we'll do the reassembly process. I'm about to clean this bottom area. As you can see, this has been sitting for quite some time. You see all this crud down in here. It's like, well, it's going to take me a while to clean this all up, but when we resume, I'll have this all cleaned up, and you'll see the big difference. This is the piece that holds the bobbin. What I'm going to do, I'm going to remove this with what's called a spring. Remove that because there's debris under there. And if I don't clean that up, it'll affect the ability of the machine to sew properly. So there's the tension, the lower tension screw, and this is what's holding it in place. I'm going to remove these. Be very careful not to lose them. Okay? So I'll do it over an area so that should I drop them, they're not going to drop on the floor. I'll be able to find it. We finished cleaning this whole area up. What I've done, I've taken some of my trifoil oil, put a little bit on my finger, kind of rub it in here just to eliminate some of the friction. And so when we reassemble everything, this is the bobbin holder. As you can see, I took this apart, cleaned it up real nice, so that means that once you get everything back together, you're going to have to set your lower tension. So this just slides right in here, as such. It seats just comfortably, pushes back in, so that sits nice against there. And then now we have this latch plate. This is going to go in here. What this does, when you put this in here, it has to kind of slide. So push it back a little bit, and then slide it forward. It's going to seat right in here, and you kind of slide it forward a little bit. Push it down in there, and so we can get that in there. There's the pin. So it sits on the pin. There's two holes there, one for the pin, you can see right there, and it sits in here. And then you push this closed. Use the screwdriver, and there's the hole right there for the screw. Boom. So here's the screw. Put that in place. I'm going to tighten that up real quick. Just snug. Oops. These things are tricky, so you want to be careful to lose them. But you get the idea. They're very small, so you have large fingers. It's kind of hard to maneuver, but let's give it one more shot. As you can see, the small screw fell down in there, so it's a good thing I have this my magnet on a wand magnet, so I can stick this down here and retrieve that little screw. Okay, now I'm going to reassemble this portion. There's the slide plate that goes right here and slides in here this way. Note that goes first before the throat plate. And what you do, you want to make sure your teeth are down so it gets that clearance it needs. This engages, and then you put your throat plate in place. You put your screws back in place here, being careful when you tighten them. Use the right size screwdriver. If not, if it's too large, it's going to slip, and you may scratch the face here. And once you've done that, go ahead and reassemble, put your pieces back in place, and you're done.